So welcome women, welcome Amber, Agneta, Sophie, Alaides, Michelle, Kelly, Alicia, more women dropping in by the minute, by the second. So sending you love and warmth from Guatemala. And as we are diving in, as we are coming together, then let me know and let all of us know, where in the world are you tuning in from? What calls you the most about being here in today's masterclass? Because it might have just been curiosity, or that you are a Sensual Yogini member and you're like, yeah, why not? Or it might be that you're going through something really intense, or have been through something really intense at some point in your life. And also, what's alive for you right now? How are you feeling right now? So let us know in the chat how you are, so I can really take the pulse on the room as we are diving into this. So today we are going to start with an overview of the From Closure to Pleasure core, which is all about how trauma happens in the body, why it's stored, how it can be released, and how we can return to our original state of sexual wholeness, innocence, play, honoring, sacredness, and exploration. So in part one, which if you haven't watched part one, then you can find part one in the members area under Sensual Yogini Lovestreams, and I'll also be creating a specific, you could say like a bonus module, where all of these From Closure to Pleasure love streams are gathered, as well as the guided audios and videos that I'm creating for this, so that you can have a library of practices in one place, and guided meditations where you can go anytime you feel like you are a bit stuck, or you're wanting to release something, or maybe you've just been through something intense, or maybe the next layer is ready to drop and to release. And so that's something that's going to be available for you as a resource in the members area. So in part one, we went really deep into the science and the different deeper layers of trauma happening, and trauma release and healing and all of that. And in part one, we went through conscious catharsis. So we went through shaking, heel bouncing, the wood chopper, pillow pounding, running and pounding release, toning, allowing your body to go wild, and a few other conscious catharsis practices. So that's one of the ways that we can release trauma. And today we're going to go deeper into the aspect of emotional healing, love, and tenderness. Okay, just looking in the chat. Okay, beautiful. So I can see a whole bunch of you on here. If you can just give me a sign in the chat that you can hear and see me, and that we're all good to go. And also answering, where in the world are you tuning in from? What calls you the most about being here today in this masterclass? And also, what's alive for you right now? So diving into the overview of the From Closure to Pleasure core. So trauma happens in the body when we have an intense experience at some point in our lives. This can be in early childhood, even pre-verbal, before we can even consciously remember. It can be anytime later in our lives. It can be last week, it can be tomorrow, it can be anytime. But trauma doesn't happen if we are able to fully express and process something in the moment. Trauma really happens when something intense, emotionally intense, energetically intense, or physically intense happens, and we are not able to fully process that in the moment. So, for example, you are beaten as a child and you don't know how to handle that, you don't know how to process it, and you don't know how to stand up for yourself. And so that gets stored as tightness, as fear, as shock, as tension in your body. Or say you are 7 and you're just like starting your first choir practice, and you're singing along with your classmates, and then a friend is like turning to you and saying, well, you can't sing. Closure in the throat. And that, for example, if that is not expressed or addressed and healed, then that's like one instance when you were 7 can take its expression in such a way that throughout your entire life you have this feeling like you can't express yourself. And when we hold tension in the throat, that also ripples down into our sex center, because our throat and our pussy are completely connected. Same thing if you're later in life in a relationship and you're expressing how you feel, and that is met by violence or by withdrawal of love, then somewhere in your system you register that it's not safe and it's not okay to express your true feelings. And as a result, you live in this state of kind of walking on eggshells and modifying your expression as a tactic to get the love that you desire, which is a really innocent longing, but the strategy doesn't work, because in the moment when you are operating out of a strategy and a secondary, you could say, a cover-up false self on top of the original innocence and the lost self of what you originally wanted to express, then you are actually actively pushing away or subconsciously pushing away the very love that you are so longing for. And so that is one of the aspects of having trauma or these less than open imprints in our body, and how they can then run our life, our sexuality, and our relationship. And so how to release the trauma is by completing what is called the stress cycle. And you see this in animals, you see this in humans if they're free enough. If an animal is being attacked, if for whatever reason it is not able to fully release that in the moment, then as soon as it can, it will shake it out. It will do something, run, shake, do something to physically release that traumatic experience. And this is a similar way that we can release it as humans. So one way of releasing trauma is by completing the stress cycle through the body. So this can look like something that we went through in the first From Closure to Pleasure Lovestream that we had, which is all about allowing the body to express through voice, through breath, through sound, and through movement. And to express in a way, if you had allowed your body to fully respond in a way that it would have done back then, what would that have looked like? And anything that has built up since then, so that you are actually expressing through the body. And again, that is going through in depth in part 1, especially the part where you just allow your body to go wild, as well as the running and pounding release and the toning. Those things all help to release this stored trauma from the body. Another aspect of this is releasing and completing the stress cycle on the level of expression and voice. And so one question that we ask here is that if you had felt safe enough back then, what would you have said? So maybe somebody said something hurtful to you and you just went into shock and freeze response. And in that case, we can set up a situation, which we'll do in a later love stream, where you get to express everything that you would have said back then and that you didn't. And so you imagine that person being in front of you and you just share everything that you feel to express. And there are more layers to it as well, which I'm not going to go into today because it's not today's theme, but that's the basic gist of it, you can say. And with this, we want to always have a inner environment of tenderness and love and acceptance. Because if something comes up and we have the feeling like, I shouldn't be feeling like this, or I should be beyond this by now, or stupid idiot, why are you still feeling this? Then nothing actually gets released. And so the approach we want to have goes something along the lines of, hey, sweetheart, it's okay. I'm here for you. You can express what do you need. That level of inner parenting is what is so helpful, and I would say probably required to fully allow these parts of us to come up and to be healed. Okay, so I see more and more women coming in. Again, if you can let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Just want to check so that the chat actually works, because normally we have a lot of activity in the chat. And now there is not really anything happening there, which is unusual. So I just want to check in that that is working and that you're all here and ready to go. So where in the world are you tuning in from? What calls you about today's masterclass? And what's alive for you right now? How are you feeling right now? In any case, this is recording, so I shall continue. Another part of the healing process is deleting the neuronal pathway and the re-imprinting. So once we have expressed and once we have healed, we can actually delete that pathway in the body, and there are different techniques for doing this. One of the most effective ones are EFT, emotional freedom technique. And then we want to come into a re-imprinting experience where we're tuning into, so what would be the healed version of this? What do I actually desire? What do I want to create? What's the empowered version of this, and how can I move into that? And then empowering that piece of the body-mind to guide your sexual explorations, which is something that we're going to dive into today as well. And ultimately, and through this as well, we are also bringing in the aspect of really connecting to your essence, which is this part of you that is beyond the body, before the mind, before anything ever happens, the part of you that has never been hurt and can never be hurt, the natural, unbridled, innocent, joyful, free expression of your life force. And as another aspect or layer of this is the aspect of resting as awareness and knowing that you are infinite and beyond all of this. Okay, so we have Kelly from UK, England. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, great. Yeah, I can see a whole lot of you. You just may be a little bit shy in the chat, which is fine. But I would love to hear how you're feeling, especially how you're feeling in this moment. Okay, so we are going to move into our practice and our process for today. We have New Jersey in the house. Michelle from the US. New Jersey, awesome. Okay, so let me remove this. Great. Okay. So, and if at any point you have any questions, then type them in the chat and I will address them at the end. And at the end, we'll also have some space where you can ask any questions that might have come up through the practice. So now we are moving into a guided experience of tasting the imprint of complete, healed, healthy, and luscious sexuality, mapping, understanding, embracing, and loving traumatized subpersonalities, creating a nourishing inner relationship within yourself, and finding your inner queen of sex, love, and wisdom, and empowering her to guide your experience of sacred sexuality and all that you desire. So that is the process that we're going to go through today. And so for this practice, you are going to want to get comfortable, so you have a space to either sit or lay down, which is completely up to you, whatever feels comfortable for your body right now. And also a notebook and a pen. If you don't have a notebook and a pen, you could use your phone. You could even do a voice recording with this. You could type on your phone. You could do a voice recording. You can type on your computer. A notebook and a pen is the best because that's when you engage the most parts of your brain and your nervous system in there. Hey, ladies, nice to see you. Hey, sweetheart. Beautiful. So having a moment of feeling the connection with the women who are here live, as well as all the women who are going to be watching this from all around the world in this. And the process we're going to go through today can be really deep. It can be really easy. It can be challenging, but it's always really beautiful and really healing and integrating. So if you need to get comfortable, rearrange your space, get a pen and a notebook, then do that now. And then come back and we'll start in about 1 minute. So doing that now. Great. Okay, so I can see from those of you who are here, I can see the UK, the US, Holland, Norway, Sweden in the house. Beautiful. Just giving another few moments for you to get anything that you need before we dive in. Okay, so if you're ready, then getting comfortable. And if you're sitting, rolling your shoulders a few times, forwards, up, back, and down. If you're laying down, then you can do any kind of squirmy flowing movements to tune in. And then if you're sitting from here, closing your eyes, allowing your chest to relax open, allowing your shoulders to rest back and down, and allowing a few deep breaths to become deeply present with whatever you're feeling in this moment. Breathing in and out in a slow, luscious, cleansing and connected way. And you can breathe in and out through your nose, or in and out through an open mouth, or maybe in through the nose and out through an open mouth. Great, great. Yeah, great. And then taking a deep breath into your heart and letting that go. Take a deep breath into your solar plexus and letting that go. A deep breath into your womb, or the energy of your womb, and softly let that go. And breathing all the way down into your pussy, kissing her from the inside with your breath. Feeling the breath pressing all the way down into your pelvic floor, and then letting that go softly. And then a deep breath into your entire body, is expanding into every single cell. And then letting that go. And then imagine what it would be like to be in your full, open, flowing sexual expression. Imagine yourself as a woman with completely unobstructed flow of sexual energy through your body. And visualizing and feeling this with as many sensory levels of input that you can. So how is your body feeling? What are you doing? Who are you with? You might see yourself alone, maybe in nature, allowing these waves of sexual energy to curse through your body. You might see yourself with a lover, or even with several lovers, but for most of you, probably just with one lover, one partner, in lovemaking, or in eye gazing, or in tantric practice, or in a connected embrace, or in full-on wild, ferocious lovemaking. So taking a moment to tune into what that feels like for you today. What would it mean for you to be completely free in your sexuality and your sexual energy? And then allowing this image to upgrade even more, so inviting the quality of your inner tantric goddess, or your inner queen of love, sex, and wisdom. And so whatever you're feeling right now, then very gently and spaciously magnify that even a bit more. So feeling yourself as this full expression of everything that you can be, with sex, with orgasm, with pleasure undulating through your body, and with the body of your lover if you are visualizing yourself with somebody. So what are you feeling? What are you seeing? What are you tasting? What are you touching? What are you smelling? What are you hearing? And then from here, scan your body. And scan your body for any parts of your body that feel contracted. Any parts that feel contracted or not fully flowing or open, a bit tense, maybe numb, maybe resistant. And check in, are there any parts within you that are in any way resisting or not believing this is a possibility? Or any parts of your body that contract in response to you imagining yourself as this full, flowing, unbridled sexual self. And when you have found that, if there is any part in your body, then place your hands on that part of your body and breathe in there. So becoming really present with this space within you. And if you don't find a place in your body, then maybe there's a thought coming in like, oh no, you couldn't do that, or anything that is signaling in the mind that if you are fully living this, then you either wouldn't be safe, you wouldn't be loved, you wouldn't be accepted, or you wouldn't belong, meaning that society or your family or your partner or somebody would push you away in some way. So in your mind and your thoughts, or in your body, so looking for what is the sensation in your body, where do you feel that the strongest, and placing your hands there. And then I want you to really go into this part and check in. What is the nature, what is the sensation of this part? Maybe you feel contraction in your solar plexus. Maybe you feel like a hazy numbness in your womb or pussy area. Maybe you feel a closure in the throat, or a heaviness in the shoulders, or like a sadness in your face, or anything else that is there. So go in and become curious, and can ask yourself also, how long has this been here? Can you remember the first time this came in? Maybe it's always been there, or maybe there's a memory surfacing or something that relates to this sensation and this part within your body and emotions and thoughts. And for the rest of the practice, if you want to, you can keep your eyes closed and just go into this as a meditation experience. If at any point you want to gently, softly open your eyes and write anything down in your notebook that comes up, then you can do that as well. Sometimes it can be really helpful to just write a couple of key pointers and words, so that then afterwards you can also see the process laid out clearly. So if you want to write down a description of a few words of what this part feels like and where you feel it in your body, then you can do so. Otherwise, just simply stay with the sensation. Yeah, great. And then becoming that part of you, so embodying that part of you and tuning into what it's like to be this part. And then from the more expanded part of you, the overall consciousness, ask to this part that feels contracted, fearful, or resistant or numb in some way. Ask this part of you, what do you want? What is your longing? What is your desire? And then see what comes. So what do you want? What is your longing? What is your desire? And this might come down to, I want to be loved. I want to experience connection. I want to be held. Whatever this part of you is wanting, you can also ask, what do you need? What do you want? What do you need? And you can feel this within yourself, and feel free also to write down the voice of this part of you. And then ask this part, what is your purpose? What is your purpose within me? When we have disowned subpersonalities, it's pretty much always that they think that they're there for a reason. They're there to protect us, to make sure that we stay safe, or to protect us from getting hurt. Anything along those lines. So asking this part of you, what is your purpose? Why are you here? And see what comes. And again, you can do this quietly within yourself, or even speak it out loud. You can do a voice recording, or you can write it down. Let's take another minute for this. What is your purpose? How have you served me? What purpose do you serve? Okay, and then wrap that up. And then from here, ask yourself the question, is it actually working? Is this part of you actually the right person for the job? Maybe she is. But perhaps if it's a part of you that was hurt or traumatized in any kind of way in the past, and she's there as a protection strategy to keep you from getting hurt again in the future, maybe she is awesome at doing that. She's like that lioness that can protect her babies, and the mama bear who can protect her cubs. Or maybe the reality is that she thinks that she's protecting you, but she's also actually blocking you from experiencing love and connection. That she's blocking everything, not just hurtful, but she's like it's like a preemptive strike where reject before being rejected, or not even opening up because it would hurt too much to feel rejected or pushed away. And so she's blocking you from even opening up and connecting in the first place. So tuning into, is it actually working? Is this part the right person for the job? And then asking her, this part of you, is there anything else that you want to express? Is there anything else you want to say? Is there anything else that you need? Great, and then doing some kind of a reset for your body. So you can spiral your body, stretch out, shake out, shimmy your hips, wiggle your body. A few cleansing breaths, where with your breath you're sweeping your inner system clean of this, opening the space. And then tune into your body. Where in your body or in your energetic body do you feel a part of you that feels love for this fearful, scared, closed down, contracted part of you? Where in your body can you find a present, loving, compassionate feeling and disposition? So you might feel this in your heart or in your womb or in your arms, or maybe it's a feeling of your energy body or simply awareness or consciousness. So tuning in, where do you feel that loving, wise, compassionate part of you? And if it's a part of your body, you can place your hands there. If it's your entire body, you can simply open your palms up towards the sky, or any bodily position that would most express this in a relaxed way. And then from this present, loving, compassionate part of you, connect to this inner, fearful, or contracted part of you, and express anything that this loving, present, compassionate part of you wants to say to the fearful, contracted part. Might be, I'm here for you. You are loved. You can let go now. You are safe. Or anything else that you want to express from your present, loving, compassionate wisdom. Taking a moment to do that from yourself to yourself, from this loving space into the perhaps fearful space. And you can do this within yourself. You can speak it out loud. You can record your voice or write it down. So I'll give you a couple of minutes for that. And you can imagine here that you are that present loving compassion, and this fearful part of you is sitting in front of you and you're speaking to her, or any position between the two of you that works. So holding her in your lap or having her sit in front of you, expressing words of love, wisdom, and guidance. Okay, taking another 30 seconds if there's anything else you want to express. Wisdom, guidance, love, healing, compassion. And then from here, from your loving wisdom, reaching out to the smaller or more fearful part of you and reaching out and in some way giving her a place. So you might embrace her or hug her. Maybe you bring her into your heart or into your womb or anywhere in your body where you feel it's a safe space for her to rest and to be. Or maybe you've even uncovered something that's from a different lifetime and it's time to let her go, and then you can lovingly lift her up and allow her to dissolve back into the non-physical, into source. So doing that now, integrating or releasing. And then take a couple of cleansing breaths. And if you haven't yet opened your mouth, then allow a couple of deep breaths in and out through an open mouth, relaxing your jaw, your cheeks, your mouth, your belly, heart, pussy. Allowing your breath to flow all the way down, softening the front of your body. And you can also circulate your breath a few times where you breathe in all the way down the front surface of your body, down through your throat, heart, belly, womb, pussy, and then breathing out through your spine, sending it like champagne bubbles or like a gentle fire vibration up your spine on the out breath. Breathing in all the way down the front of your body, relaxing, and then breathing out and allowing that to rise up your spine. One more time, deep breath in all the way down. And breathing out, allowing this to rise up your spine. Deep breath in, expanding your belly, relaxing your belly, allowing your hips to rock a bit forwards. And then breathing out, engaging your pelvic floor muscles. And bringing the energy all the way up through the spine to your brain and to the crown of your head. Again, deep breath in all the way down. And deep breath out. And allowing this flow to be luscious, to be deep, to be nourishing, opening. Maybe even sexually enlivening. Deep breath in all the way down. And deep breath out all the way up the spine. Deep breath in all the way down. And deep breath out the spine. And continue with relaxed awareness on this circular breath, allowing the in-breath to descend, to permeate your body all the way down and in, and allowing your breath to rise up the spine on the out-breath, like champagne bubbles, or like a reversed waterfall of flowing energy up your spine. So continue that flow in and out as you tune into your inner queen of love, sex, and wisdom. All of us women are connected to this archetype on this aspect of the divine feminine. We are naturally intuitive, naturally connected to our bodies when we are free and safe to be so. A woman's body has 2/3 more sensory receptors than a man's body, so we are hardwired or soft-wired to feel. And so where do you feel her in your body? Maybe you feel that she lives in your pussy or in the expansion of your heart or breasts, nipples. Maybe you feel her in your heart and breasts and pussy connected, maybe through your spine. Maybe it's a full-bodied feeling of feeling the earth rising up in between your legs, feeling connected to the sky through your crown. However she feels in your body, in your thighs, anywhere. And begin to allow her to breathe and move as you and through you. Knowing that she also has the wisdom and the love to hold a space for any healing at any point that needs to happen. Any frozen layers that are ready to be melted. Any pockets of contraction that are ready to return to the free flow of love and connection. She can also hold the space for this because she is a priestess, she is a goddess, she is a queen of love, sex, and wisdom. And allow her now to come into your body and into your experience and begin to breathe and move you. And then allowing her to merge even more fully into your body so that you are really becoming her, you're embodying this, which is not a different entity or separate from you. It is you, it's a part of your nature, it's a part of your beingness as a woman. So feeling yourself as this energetically in tune, open, flowing, sexy, grounded, empowered woman, goddess, priestess, queen. And then for a moment, as you are being that, as you're being all of this, allow your personally asserted self, which you could say as the part of you that believes itself to be limited in some way, or could even just be the part that you feel yourself living from most of the time. Have that aspect of yourself come and sit in front of you. So visualizing that you, from your currently lived reality, self experience, that aspect of you comes to sit in front of you, or if you're laying down, however you appear visually and energetically in front of you, and feel yourself exude compassion from this place of this inner queen. And take a moment and tune into, from this space of embodying this divine feminine archetype and this aspect of sex, love, and wisdom and energetic embodiment. Are there any words of wisdom, guidance, advice, or expression that you want to give to yourself from embodying this? So take a moment, either verbally or non-verbally, recording or writing down, or just within yourself, to express from this place of your inner queen, goddess, priestess, love, sex, and wisdom, an energetic embodiment to your personally asserted self. So do that now. Take a minute to express. And take another 30 seconds to express anything you want to yourself. You can also write it down. And then have yourself and your inner queen thank each other, and then you can bring your personally asserted self back into your body again, still remaining as this inner queen, goddess, priestess. Again, tuning into how she feels in your body, what this feels like in your body, and imagining yourself moving into sexual exploration from this place. And this can be sexual exploration with yourself. How might this affect, upgrade, or expand, nourish, heal, enrich your exploration with yourself if you were to set aside time to touch yourself, to luxuriate, to give this? Might be like a energetic meditation, it might be a luscious hedonistic self-pleasuring ritual. It might be a space where you simply set up a very loving container where you can explore with touch, with oils, with crystal dildos or yoni eggs or other sensory experiences like essential oils or mango or chocolate or feathers or anything else. Have you ever done such a ritual for yourself, and how could she guide you into this? So if there's any guidance that comes to you in terms of what would she have you do in terms of self-pleasuring, whether you're with a partner or not, what would she have you do? And this might feel like, yes, I want to do that, or it might be like, oh, that's scary. So whatever that is, having compassion for that and tuning into what would she have you do. And if there are any feelings of guidance or maybe even specific instructions, then take a moment to note that within yourself, or voice memo, or write it down. Writing it down can be really great as well. What would support you in embodying this more fully? She might also give instructions to go and get a massage, or have somebody come to your house and give you a massage, or spend a day at the spa or in the jacuzzi, or go out in nature and get your hands in the mud or your feet on the grass or your whole body into water. So taking another moment to see if there's anything else that would support you in living this loving, sexually empowered, flowing, orgasmic, nourishing, embodied experience. And then tuning into what would it be like to move into sexual intimacy with another from this place? Whether that is a male partner or a female partner or multiple or one person, whatever that sacred partnership and sexual exploration looks like for you. What would it be like if you were to ground into your inner queen, again, with the full acceptance and compassion for anything that might come up at any point, but it comes up within the space of you embodying this feminine wisdom and sexual genius. So imagining yourself moving into sexual exploration with another from this place, feeling what that feels like in your body, visualizing, tasting, touching, hearing, smelling, sounding, experiencing. And then take another few deep breaths with this, breathing in and out through an open mouth. Inhaling all the way down the front of your body, allowing the front of your body to soften and relax, receive life. Breathing out and allowing this to rise up your spine. Breathing in all the way down. Breathing out up the spine. Breathing in all the way down, relaxing and receiving. Breathing out, allowing this to rise up your spine. Breathing in, feel free to also touch down the front of your body, caressing like a soft waterfall down your front. And then engaging your pelvic floor, your pussy muscles as you allow this fiery quality rising up your spine. So waterfall quality, soothing, soft water down your front on the in-breath. And fiery vibration rising up your spine on the out-breath. Inner alchemy of yin and yang, water and fire, feminine and masculine, inhaling, flowing, softening, yin down the front. Exhaling, fiery yang up the spine. Inhaling, flowing yin down the front. Exhaling, fiery yang up the spine. Inhaling, soft waterfall down the front of your body. And exhaling, healing, activating, nourishing fire up the spine. And then allowing your breath to soften and to integrate. And finding a way to anchor this into your body. So the more you touch, the more you anchor this experience in on a really visceral and cellular level. So you can touch your body, massage your body, stroke your body, any way that helps you to anchor in this experience on a cellular level. And with the breath, also drinking this into every cell. So saturating your cells with the experience of love, sex, wisdom, and energetic embodiment. And to complete this practice, feeling and seeing yourself enveloped in a field of golden light, like a golden egg or like a cocoon or a dome, a crystal dome of golden light around you, enveloped in healing, in safety, and in love. anchoring in the experience so that you can be fully sexually empowered, open, connected, flowing, and embodied. And you are safe. You are loved. You belong. You're connected. And you are love. And this completes our practice for today. So when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes again if your eyes are still closed. And share in the chat, how are you feeling now? Any notes or insights that came to you in terms of what was that contracted part within you? What did it transform into? What did it want? What is its purpose? And any words of guidance or wisdom from your inner queen, goddess, priestess. So with this, you can share simply how you feel and how this was for you, and also if there's anything else, especially the wisdom from your inner queen, goddess, priestess, share in the chat as well, because then we can all receive the goodness, and if it feels private, then feel free to keep it for yourself. Michelle says, so awesome. Thank you. You're so welcome, love. You're so welcome. This is a deep process. It's a beautiful process. I'll be posting the audio version of this entire training, as well as the audio of only the practice. And I'll do that, just a little editing and uploading right after we've hung up from this call. And so if you check back, it should be up within half an hour in the members area of the Sensual Yogini. So you can find that there. And then you can take this practice as a healing experience. You might want to do it daily for some time, or just whenever you come up against something that feels like it's hijacking you and not fully allowing you to be in your fullness and in your open flow. And if you want to go a bit deeper through the layers, the more we hold space for any parts of us that are wounded, contracted, healed, for them to actually be expressed, to have a voice, to share what their longing is, and to empower a supportive part of our body, mind, and of our being that can actually hold the space for this, as well as being like, okay, girl, you're still welcome to be here, and I understand you and I feel you, and this is the more empowered version of allowing my inner queen, goddess, tantric priestess to run the show when I'm engaging in sexual exploration, whether it's with myself or with another. And so this is a beautiful, incredibly deep way to re-imprint your whole nervous system. Katrin says, really nice. Yeah. And so we'll have some time now if there are any questions. Again, if there's anything that you wrote down, anything that came to you, any insights, then please share in the chat. How is your body feeling now? How was this for you? Any insights that you feel moved to share? And the space is also open for if there are any questions at all. So Carlene says, I hope I pronounced your name in the right way. The part of myself that identifies as being an individual and separate came to my goddess curled up in a little ball. And she was so scared. And my loving goddess self brought her into her arms and massaged her entire body and kept telling her how much she loves her and how safe she is. That's beautiful. I've actually never heard that come up for me, that the loving part massages every part of her body. But that sounds like an absolutely beautiful thing. You can even bring this, you other women, as a practice to have your inner loving, compassionate, wise self massage the entire body of any part of you that feels fearful, closed down. It's like energetic body work on a very deep level. And Caroline also says, when I integrated her back in my whole body, when I integrated her back in, my whole body felt super erotic and orgasmic in nature. I love that. Yeah, I absolutely love that. And Alicia says, angry, suppressed part, but welcomed and embraced by the bigger, loving part as power and strength. Angry and suppressed part. And she probably is angry for a reason. Like from within these subpersonalities, life makes sense. If you have been violated in the past, it makes sense to the part that experienced that or that still identifies with it to want to push away intimacy, because it has experienced that in the past, intimacy means danger, or opening up means danger. So it makes perfect sense. This is not stupid. It's just not really helpful. And so when we can see this and be like, okay, so what do you want? Okay, I want love. What is your purpose? To protect you? Okay, but I'm actually empowered from this place to protect myself. No. But who is empowered? Okay, my inner warriors, my inner Durga, my inner like no bullshit queen, badass. From that place, I can actually protect and allowing her. So, for example, when you're in interaction with another person and you notice that this arises or you need to set a boundary, rather than responding from the fearful part, trying to set up a boundary, which it is usually entirely unable to do because it is so in defense mode, rather than having that, empowering your inner badass queen to be like, you know what? This is my boundary. These are my standards. This is what I'm worth. And having that, not in an arrogant way, but in a simply clear, empowered way where there's no arguing, no excuses. You just own your desire and what is true for you. And then from that place, you can set boundaries in a really sexy way, in a really holistic way, as opposed to the freeze or flight or fear response in your body. So I'll just have another minute or so to see if there are any more shares, any more questions that are coming up in regards to this practice. Also, if there's any part where you felt confused or stuck, then now is the perfect time to ask. And for any women who are watching the replay of this at a later point, then you can post your questions down below right here in the members area. Or if you're watching the replay with the chat and everything, then go back to the Sensual Yogini members area, find this specific place, and you can ask any questions, anything that you feel stuck or confused about, and also share any insights or any part of your process that you want to share, because we love to hear from you in this. So today we have covered the from closure to pleasure core, how trauma happens in the body, how it's stuck and how it can be released and how we can re-imprint and reintegrate. And we have gone through a process of tapping into what it feels like to be in that fully empowered orgasmic sexual expression, scanning our body for any parts that might not be fully on board with this, any parts that feel contracted or unsafe in any kind of way, in regards to allowing this to be fully lived, and then tuning into where is that present loving compassionate wisdom within yourself, and how can you heal, how can you allow her to hold that fearful part of you. Before that, we're also giving the fearful part a voice to share what is your longing, what do you want, and why are you here, what is your purpose, and then giving her a place within our heart, or in some cases releasing. Sometimes we come up against a part that feels more like it's actually from a past life and it's got somehow just stuck and hooked into our being. And so in that case, it can be a feeling of more like, okay, you're free, you can let go now, you can re-emerge. And usually that gives a feeling of relief of, oh, wow, I don't need to keep on holding on to this. what, really? I can actually re-emerge into source, into love. That usually happens if there is a fragmented part that comes up that is more, feels more like it's related to a parallel or past lifetime. And if it's more our inner child self or any disowned part of us, then giving her a space to be in our heart or in our womb or wherever you feel that loving, present, compassionate wisdom. And then from there, we were tuning into, well, what is my inner pleasure queen? What is my inner tantric goddess, my inner sexual priestess? And what is it like to live from that space and allow her to guide my exploration, and also receiving any guidance from her in terms of, or from the aspect of yourself, in terms of what would support you and allow this to deepen. So you might now have the full instructions laid out for a self-pleasuring experience or a love-making experience, as well as the imprint of this embodied in your body energetic feeling experience, and having the felt sense of that so that you can be more empowered and seamlessly aligned in allowing this to guide your intimate life and experiences. Okay, beautiful women. So for all of the women who have been tuning in here live, and for all of the women who are watching this at any point later in the future, which is now if you're watching this now, thank you so much for tuning into this. Again, you can find the audio version of this entire training as well as the audio version of this practice here down below. Any questions, comments, sharings, I am here for you always. And stay tuned for the next part 3 in From Closure to Pleasure. I will announce when that one is ready to be registered for. Personally, I am right now here in Guatemala. In front of me, out here through the windows, I can see a beautiful garden and a jacuzzi going down the mountain to Lake Atitlan and 3 volcanoes on the other side. So very connected to the feminine here. I've been experiencing a lot of emotional release, a lot of healing, a lot of things surfacing, different parts of my childhood self, as well as actually past life stuff has come up in the last few days that has been healed and released. And next week I'm going to Mexico to see my lover and then to co-facilitate and assist in a retreat with Leila Martin with a group of amazing women where we're diving into deep feminine practices for a week. I am also going to be announcing soon women's events in the Netherlands in the second half of July, it looks like. Might even have something brief in Sweden, sort of end of June, beginning of July. And there will also be live events announced for California in October. Okay, my love, so wish you a beautiful day, morning, evening, night, wherever you are, with so much love. Bye.